Check that out. I think that's what you'd call finished maple syrup. Welcome back to Four Joes by a Joe. I'm your regular Joe Justin here, and today we're going to be doing some maple syrup stuff and things. This is the tap that we're going to be putting in the tree. It's you drill a 5/16 hole. That's an inch and a half to 2 inches deep into the tree, and this side would be your right will be going into the tree if my hand was the tree here, right up to about this notch, and then the spout here will be where the sap will be coming out into the bag that we're going to put into the tree, and we'll show you that here in just a little bit. No. This is the bag that the sap's going to go into. This would be called the hanger, and we're going to put one of those together just so you see how it works. So if you see in the hanger, there is this loop that you push down, slide over, and the two separate. Then you run the bag up into the hanger or into this loop. You don't want to go too far because we're going to essentially just wrap this bag over and around. You want to have enough that it kind of wraps around that hanger. But not so much so that you want it all the way around that hanger. Tuck it in around the edges. Just like so. Then we take the hanger piece itself, slide it back in there, and then pulling it down into these grooves is going to essentially lock that bag into place. Give her a little tug, make sure she's secure, and then check your hole here. That's where you're going to be putting that tap, and that tap will then run in through that hole, and you want to make sure that it's going to drip into the bag from there. So we'll show you more once we get it hooked onto the tree. Get yourself a drill and a 5/16 drill bit based off of the tap that you're going to be using, and mark that drill bit 2 inches from the end or 1.5 inches depending on how far you want to tap the tree. In our case, we're going to do it's just a tick under 2 inches. So then obviously select yourself a maple tree. There's obviously a bunch of different ways you can identify maples, and I am no tree expert. The reason we know these are maples is we get to see the leaves during the summertime. You can identify them based off the bark, but you know that takes a little bit more work, and there's several different variants of sugar maple, so you'll want to figure that out before you just go tapping trees. Either way, tap your tree, find a spot, tap it straight. And then you'll take your spout and a rubber mallet. Now you don't want to split the tree a bunch, so you just basically pound until she's in there nice and good. That's good enough. Then we're going to get our bag on there. We're going to probably have to peel back some of this bark. This is an older tree, so the bark is very thick. This is not hurting this tree at all. And there we go. And it is literally just that simple. Now basically you're looking for a few nights where the tree freezes during the night and heats up during the day. A tree of this size, we can put 2 taps on it. You want to select the south side or the side that gets the most sun, depending on the region that you're in. And so basically you're looking for the tree to freeze at night, be below 32 degrees, and then during the day it's going to warm up, and you want it to be above freezing, obviously, and a little bit. There is a sweet spot, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm the expert on making maple syrup, but either way, that's pretty much it. And we'll show you more as it progresses. Once we start collecting sap and boiling it down, we'll show you that whole process. We've got a evaporator that's going to be going over there by that pile of bricks. It's going to be a very crude setup, so it's going to appeal to a lot of people because it can be pretty much as cheap as you want it to be. You don't even have to go as extravagant as we're going to go, which I can promise you isn't going to be that extravagant, but it'd be affordable for a lot of people, and you don't have to get a lot of sap. You know, it's like a 40 gallons to 1 gallon of sap. But if you're just wanting to make like a quart of sap, you know, you just need a little bit of the sap from the trees, boil it down, and get yourself some syrup and have some pancakes. So we'll show you more of the process as we have time and we get going here. If I fast forward through some of the parts, it's just to save you, the viewer, some time and not to edit anything out. We're currently getting everything set up here we're going to be evaporating some maple syrup here, and we got some bags we still got to collect. We got some pretty good ones down there, but it's not really running so good. I mean, it's running right now. We've got some sap that's dripping, but we've got some week old sap that we've got to get. We got to get cooked down, so we're going to get that done. We'll let you watch us set this up here, and I guess you'll just see the crude setup. You can tell that it's not exactly level. We set this up in the snow. We're just kind of winging it this year, and next year hopefully it'll be a better setup. So stick around, learn something from us, maybe set it up before the snow hits. Not a bad idea. All right, so now we're officially cooking maple syrup. We've got the sap already added. Got some ice chunks from what was in the barrel there. And we got Sasquatch over here. Gotta watch out for him, make sure he doesn't try to steal our maple syrup once we're done here. But we got some wood going. We should probably add a little bit more. Got a good coal base going. You guys will see more in the video. And yes, it's extremely unlevel. I know, I'm aware. We obviously built this on snowpack, and as it was working its way through the heat and the cool cycle, the sun was hitting the side of the bricks, and the snow that was underneath the bricks obviously melted on the sun side. So we're hoping that a little bit of heat there in the bottom straighten things out a smidge. The dogs are out there playing. We got Willow and Maple. One's a puppy. Yeah.
And I'm back.
And Jack's back.
I just want to you.
Oh, right here. I can hold on to that.
Oh,
Jack's going to go ahead and pour some sap in there for you.
It's almost full, so.
And we're not even close to a boil. So we're just going to go ahead and keep at it. We got everybody out here, so there's going to be all kinds of background noise. Willow, come. Willow, come. Willow. Willow, come.
I'll go put them 2 bags back.
Willow, come. Come here. Come on. Good girl. Where are you going, Willow?
Oh, see, I was mad at her earlier, so.
Oh, usually her recall is amazing, but I guess right now, mainly because I'm recording, it's not gonna be. Anyways. Look at him play. Oh. Willow, come. Come on. Willow, come. Willow, come. It's only because I'm recording. She's not going to come to me. Yeah, she's not going to cooperate. Willow, come. Oh, you're replacing it? I think we got squirrels chewing on our bags.
Yeah, you can see it coming out of the corner.
Yeah, it's drifting right out. Right there, you can see the teeth marks.
What's this going on, huh? Squirrels?
It looks like it. Little bite marks right there, too.
Yeah.
Darn
This one's
squirrels.
dripping really good, though.
It is dripping good. Look at that. Ooh.
Jack, can you hold this for me, please?
Here, and she'll give you an example on how to replace the bag, even though we've already got over this, but why not?
Yes.
Easy, bud.
But even though I don't have that, it's alright.
She's folding it right around the middle piece there, and you want to have a little extra. It is a little bit of a trick.
Yep, and then you put this on, this metal thing.
Yeah.
You can see the
Back
metal.
up, back up.
Michael, you're going to turn up like rope.
Then I'm going to try to tuck underneath.
Jack.
Hey, Jack, I need that piece, please.
An extreme amount of focus going on around here, huh? There we go. Center it up a little and give her a tug, and she's ready to go on. And into the bag we go.
This one we can empty, but this one's dripping really good too. Jack must miss this one. Oh, is this one leaking too?
It is.
Is that from squirrels or is that just the bags?
No, they bit it right there too. All right.
Hey, Jack, we missed this one. I gotta go get another bag.
Go dump that one.
Alright.
Man, we're gonna have to buy more bags if it's either that or we're gonna have to go down the bucket route. Yeah, we're gonna keep having.
And that's how you take it.
Nice work, Jack.
If you would check out this, like this way, stop and zoom in if you want to see these bags roll in.
All right, and this is in Celsius, so yeah, at our elevation and location in the world, boiling point for sap or water is right around that 98.3 in Celsius. This is a Vevor pan with a pre-warmer. Granted, we don't have enough sap in this boil to use the pre-warmer. So we ordered this off of Amazon, and I'll include the link. But this is a stainless steel Vevor pan. It basically comes exactly how you see it. It actually came with some extra parts. It comes with not only the 3/4, or well, this is a 1/2 inch ball valve and a male-to-male coupler. It comes with the Teflon tape. It's not the best Teflon tape in the world, but it's holding, so it bolts together right there. And it is not leaking. Yeah, even though a lot of reviews say that it does leak. The welds aren't the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen in the world, but when it comes to stainless steel, I got a little bit of smoke there. When it comes to stainless steel pans, it's hard to get it any cheaper than that. So you can see the condensation forming on the pan because it's starting to heat up. The bottom valve here is a 3/4 inch ball valve, quarter turn. Like I said, it comes with the coupler, so that's already in there. And once again, the Teflon tape. Also comes with a gauge. To our surprise, it was in Celsius and not Fahrenheit. Oh, we might have a leak on the gauge. Nope. That's going to be what it's going to be. I might have needed to put a little bit more Teflon tape in that one. So we'll have to fix that after this boil. That's unfortunate. We're going to be losing some. Might have to try to tape that up or do something with that. Either way, you know, so far for the price, it's not a bad pan. And it's 16 this way, but I believe it's like 30 or 32 that way. And I believe 9 inches tall there. Then obviously it has a lip. So anyways, check it out. And I'll have a link down in the description if you want to do some maple syrup cooking next year. Yep. Still cooking. We're probably, I'd say, an hour and a half in roughly. And we're not quite to boiling point. We got some sap that we collected from the trees in the pre-warmer. And we still got our gangster lean happening. You'll have that. And we're right around that 52-ish degrees Celsius. So boiling point, like I said before, is around 98.3 for us here in the Northwoods. We got the dogs over there playing. Willow! Willow, come! Willow, come! She don't like the camera. Her recall is actually very good, but something about the camera stresses her out. Willow, come here. Come here, girl. Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come on. All the other dogs that come, mine, whatever reason, she's stressing. Hey, Maple. Hey, Tin. They're not afraid of the camera. Huh, Maple? No, you're a pretty pup. Yes, you are. Oh, that's a good girl. What a good girl. Willow. Willow, come. Well, what do you know? Sasquatch is still watching us. So we're going to check sugar content with our hydrometer here, and we're nowhere close to probably being ready. This is more for just science. So we're basically going to dip this up in the sap and fill it up so that it's about, I'd say, an inch from the top. And then we'll slowly drop this in there. And there's 2 different scales on this, but really all we're looking for is the red line on here. And there's a hot line for 211 degrees Fahrenheit and a cold line. So if you had cold sap, roughly finished sap will be at this when it's hot. So that's what we're looking for. Woo, she's a little hot. A guy should really get like a dipper. So there we go. We got it just about filled that high. Now we're going to slowly drop this in there and see what happens. Ooh. So basically, we ain't even close. It's not even floating at all. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm going to get it close to the mic. You can hear it touching the bottom there. So we're not even close, which is basically what I figured. So put it back in and keep cooking. We'll check in. Well, as a quick update, I did get that thermometer to quit leaking. All I needed to do was tighten it up some more. So if you do get one of these pans, I would put way more tape on unless you're going to buy some better tape. I knew I should have used better Teflon tape. I just didn't. Cool thing about cooking though, maple syrup is, I don't know if you can see them or not. See the deer right there? That's only one of them. They're coming in for some corn. There's a bunch of deer right back in there.
Oh, you're not talking.
Just scooping some of the
Bubbles out?
I think as actually Grandpa used to call it impurities. I don't know if it's actually any truth to that, but that's what Grandpa said. We need every bit of sap we can get because we only got probably, I don't know, just probably shy of 15 gallons or so. A little bit of junk on there. Not bad. Gonna dump a little bit more in the pre-warmer.
Got some in my sleeve.
Got a little bit in the pre-warmer.
I got some syrup in my sleeve. Oh no.
Grandma's over there playing the guitar. Jack's feeding the fire. Good, 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 good. We don't need no more.
That's good right now.
All right. So we got a rolling boil here. And we're actually above where we need to be, so that's fine. We did have to do some modifications. As you can see, she's a little crooked. I mean, that's on account for probably 6 inches of snow and ice. And we knew that going into this, that it was going to be a bit of a redneck debauchery. But is what it is. So we're just working on it. What we did down there, though, if anybody else has to do this in the future and you're like us and you didn't pre-plan and set this up prior to winter, then I would do your darndest to get down to dirt before building this. And we did try. It was just taking too much time, to be honest with you. So what we did anyways is we built it on the snow and ice, and we kind of knew ahead of time that this was going to be a problem. So that it was actually tilted more to this side. So what I did is I dug this out a little bit, and I took a propane torch over here, and I burned on this edge, and I was basically able to bring this wall back a little bit. So believe it or not, it was leaning more than we originally thought.
How's the top?
Yeah, I don't know if we're leaking out of the top or not. I can't tell. It looks like we got a leak right here.
Yeah.
Out of the top.
And I'm telling you, it's a leak.
Because we did put a mark. There's a little black mark in there. And it is down almost a 1/4 inch. And it was only under that mark by about an 1/8 inch before. So I kind of wonder if we got a leak. I didn't want to really have to add that to this. Yeah, you can see that it's leaking. I originally thought that it was actually the steam coming up underneath there and making it into the bolts and kind of just working their way out, but this isn't at a boil and it's not really hot enough for it to lose that much volume that quick. So I kind of wonder if we got a leak in the top pan. It's hard to say though. Oh! Is that a Sasquatch? Man, he's sticking around. He's really watching us. Watch out, watch out. Is that Sasquatch over there? Oh, geez.
What do you got, buddy? Oh, that's it.
All right, we're burned down about 4 inches here. We're slowly dripping in from the pre-warmer here. We're about halfway done with cooking, I would think. Maybe a little bit less than halfway. So we're gonna keep burning it down.
Try to write all this wood today.
No, we're not gonna use all the wood today. But
Try to.
no, we're not gonna try to. We're just gonna... Either way, our redneck plan of this leveling out kind of worked out for us. We dug out this side over here and allowed it to warm up and tilt back. So so we're doing pretty good. It's actually straightened itself out quite a bit. And so the pre-warmer, we've got it dripping. You can't really see it on this side, but right over here you can see it. That's slowly dripping in. That allows it so that it doesn't ruin our boil, adding this cold sap. So that's working out. We got Jack over here. He's cooking some marshmallows. But here's an important note. Here's the canister for the hydrometer. You dip that into the sap like we showed before and fill it up with sap. Hold on to this, Jack. Keep it right there. Yep. You'll want to get yourself, this is warm water, and you want to keep your hydrometer warm. That way you're not putting a cold hydrometer into the water. You could, well, not water, into the sap. By putting a cold hydrometer into that, you run the risk of cracking that hydrometer or busting it. So, oh, and I don't know if I already mentioned this, but we dug that out so that we can get rid of some of the water that's melting off of all this. So, anywho, we'll check back in once we're getting closer. We got all them deer over there. They're being chickens. They don't want to come in because I'm over here. I'm going to look away from the camera and maybe they'll walk in. Yeah, the desire for food is greater than the worry of danger. Jack, you want to add a piece of wood to the front and back?
head somewhere in there. Puppy head, you're somewhere in there. I see you.
Maybe don't climb because you'll scare them. Guess Sasquatch doesn't scare them. They don't know what to do. They come in, they leave, they come in. They've done this about 5 times. And we're still cooking. We're down a little bit. We're still dumping out of the pre-warmer. We got a few hours left though, that's for sure. We're still maintaining about that 100 degrees Celsius. So that's right about the boiling point, so that's good. Don't make fun of me. I forgot my leather gloves at home, so kitchen mitts it is. We're gonna find out if this top plate is leaking here. So we're actually gonna take the bolts off and remove the top plate and take a look. I wanna know whether or not it's leaking out of that. I wouldn't do this at home. These are very hot right now. So this is not the smart way to take the bolts out.
I got wrench too.
You got a wrench too? Jack, this is pretty hot, so.
Then I can help you screw it back on once. Once we have to put them back on.
Ooh. Oh, and the smoke got me. So I think I'll just carry it over to the wood bin so that we can get a good look at it. All right, wish me luck. We're gonna find out if this is leaking. Okay. All right. You know what? I don't think it is. I think I was right. And that it's just, you see all that condensation up underneath there. So
Yeah,
I was wrong about it leaking. We must just be losing that amount of volume off the preheat, because I don't see any leaks other than all that condensation. So that's the water vapor coming off of
coming down.
well, it's the water vapor coming off of the sap, and then it hits the colder surface of the pan and then condensates again. So then it's just, because we have such a lean, it's running down this piece right here, Jack.
Yep.
And into the bolt holes, and it makes it appear like we have a leak, but we don't.
Yep.
So good.
I was confused.
So Vivor, we're doing good. We're doing good for a cheap pan. Got a good rolling boil. Got a good fire going.
Do we need more wood?
No, we don't need more wood. Not yet.
Not yet?
So we're going to keep on rolling. We'll keep you updated. I guess I should explain this quick. This is an old milk can. Obviously, that lid comes off, and it's just open to the can. These are some clips that we're going to make sure that hold the filter, which is this, that we've got just folded over the can. So then once we get close, and this is all boiled down, and we're close to what we would consider finished, we're going to slide the pan forward so that it's just far enough off the blocks. Put the can underneath the 1/4-inch ball valve there, and then we'll drain the pan. So that's the idea. Oh! Sasquatch is still there. Watch out. Watch out, Jack. Run from the Sasquatch. Oh, you can't? Oh, you better hobble.
Okay, that's just a fake Sasquatch, oh, buddy.
Well,
Oh, buddy.
you got to create some clickbait. Gotcha. Ha! It's just a cutout of Sasquatch. Well, we're down 4 inches or so, so I'd say we're probably pretty close to halfway burned down. We got a ways to go yet. Cool enough. Our whole plan on digging that side out and straightening it out worked out pretty good for us because everything kind of leveled out, and I would venture to guess that we're pretty close to being at grade. So we're sitting in a puddle, and we've got a river cut out here. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think we overcooked her pretty good, but I'll tell you what, she still tastes good. Still tastes very good. It's high in sugar content, so it basically we went from when we tested it last with the hydrometer. The hydrometer was still sitting at the bottom of the tube, and it wasn't floating at all. We basically moved the UTV around to get some light because it was getting dark out, and within that 2 minutes, we went from a rolling boil to candy in the bottom of into the bottom of the pan. So we still got about a quart or so of maple syrup, and it's very high in sugar content. We dropped the hydrometer in here, and it's way above the cold line. So, well, you win some, you lose some, you learn some. So I think we'll be finishing it off in the house from now on, because I think the amount of sap that we get in a week to cook off is almost too little to finish in that pan because it's too uncontrolled. So we learned this time, and we'll bring you along for the next one, and hopefully you'll learn something too. So catch you on the next one. Thanks. This will be part 2 or the later half of the video. We're cooking a second time here. We got some rain coming or potentially coming, so we set up a tarp so that just in case if the rain comes, we don't add extra water to our setup here. So that first cook, you're not going to actually see the end of it. You'll just see where you see the maple syrup at the end. And the reason you don't get to see the pour and all of that is basically because we overcooked it, and I'll explain what happened there. So we cooked down about a ½ inch or so, and we thought we had a little bit of time. We checked for sugar content, and the sugar content was non-existent. The hydrometer was hitting the bottom of it, and basically it cooked down really fast within about 2 minutes, and we went from no sugar content to all sugar content, and we wound up with syrup. You seen the syrup jar? It's really good. It's high in sugar content, but technically it would be considered an overcook. So today we're going to try to slowly add some and cook more. We actually have more sap this go around, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more controlled. You'll get to see the pour and how that whole process works out. So I guess that's really just the update. And here comes the rain. Oh, and Sasquatch is still over there.
Not date.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, things continue to go foobar during this sap season. So I've been cooking all day, and I think it's honestly just because we got more sap than anticipated. It's taken longer to cook down than I'd like. I don't know if I haven't kept a high enough temperature or what, but we're going to pour this into the milk jug, and hopefully most, if not all of it, fits, and we'll finish it off tomorrow. So let's get her done. Okay, so last night you saw that we were taking this off, pouring it into the milk can to basically finish it up today. Word to the wise, don't try to use the Blackstone. What I did is I brought all the sap and reported in this morning out of the milk jug and what was left in the evaporator here. Took off the cover and my griddle and tried to cook it on there. I had some metal pieces that were supporting the pan across the top of the burners, and I could only achieve about 180, 190 degrees trying to burn on that. So wound up having to get a separate burner, which this season maple syrup's going to be at a premium, but it's more about the experience, less about what you're putting into it. And we'll have that for years to come. So the family get to do this for years, and we won't have to worry about forking that money out later. But either way, threw it on here. This seems to be working really good. We'll see if it gets us up to 10. I don't have any reservations that it's not gonna, because the flame is more in contact. It's a bigger burner, and it's, like I said, not so far away from the burner itself. I do have a thermometer set up here, and this is going to be kind of nice. We're going to be able to finish this probably on the pan right here, and get it going, or be more accurate from here. Things are getting a little bit closer here. We keep bumping up against my goal temperature for finished maple syrup, which is right around that 216 degrees. And I'll show you the boil. I'm going to try to, if you hear the beeping, try to ignore it. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes it clears up a little bit. There we go. You get the idea. It's boiling. And basically we're looking for a target amount of sugar and temperature, the combination of the two. As you can see though, these two red lines are what we're looking for. Granted, the top one is really what I'm after because that's the hot line. And we're not really, we're getting closer. It kind of wants to float, but Willow, come. That's a good girl. Good girl. See, she comes in when there's no camera in my hand, huh? Yeah, that's a good girl. Sit. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Stay. Stay. She is an Australian cattle dog and black lab mix. And boy, does she have a work drive unlike any other dog I've ever had. She's such a good family dog. A little overprotective and mouthy, but I hear that kind of just comes with the breed. And she is a mix, so you never really know what you're going to get. Willow, break. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. She's a good girl. This, if you're going to get into cooking some maple syrup and you have the means and the trees and whatnot to do it, just understand one thing for sure. This is a gigantic time suck. My God, is it a time suck. I don't know if that's any better. Whew. You know, this is more of an art than there is a science to this. Yeah, see, we jumped up to a whole 227 right there. So we're going to back it off a smidge because I think we're getting down there. Question is, are you going to want to watch this for 10 minutes? Probably not. So you see how it's kind of getting foamy? Before, there was no foam. None of that existed. It wasn't happening. You can even look back here. You can see a little bit of foam. That's how I know I'm getting close. Oh, getting wild here. And the good old four-legged furry friend is still guarding the driveway. But my point was drinking just the sap out of the bag, having samples. Even when you overcook it, there's like sugar crystals, maple crystals on the bottom of the pan. All of that it brings back good memories, and it's a huge part and reason why I'm doing it for my son. Well, for my family, my wife didn't experience it either, and it's a fond childhood memory. And let's be honest, not there's not a lot of people that are doing it. What do you think of your first drink?
Yeah.
Come on. What do you think?
I think it's good.
I don't think so.
It's sugar water.
It needs to be cooked. You don't like it? No, it needs to be cooked. It needs to be cooked.
Nice and sweet, like sugar water. Way better than sugar water, though.
Yeah, it's cold.
That's pure. That's some pure good water.
It needs to be cold.
Oh, how do you be so...
Almost to that 55. Check that out. I think that's what you'd call finished maple syrup. Well, that was a good successful pour. Let's go ahead and see if we can scrape some of what's left in here out of here. Take your spatula. That's like herding cats. Well, we're here cooking down the third batch of sap. It's northern Wisconsin weather, typical. It's snowing. We're supposed to get 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 8. We're a little bit south of here, so I just kind of wanted to summarize some of the things that we've done well up to this point, and some of those things that we haven't done well. And there are probably some things in the video that once I'm done producing it, that I'll correct with words, because I've learned some things, and it's been a long time since I've cooked sap with my grandfather and my mom. So, there was a lot of details that escaped me. But that being said, some of the things that we've done well is, honestly, this is a pretty refined setup for a cheaper setup. I'll just say it that way. I'm glad we bought the pan with the preheater, because I'll tell you what, that works great for trickling sap, warming up your sap prior to it going into your main batch, so you don't kill your boil. And that's kind of key, because you want to be at a boil the entire time that you're trying to cook down sap, so that you're evaporating at the peak efficiency, essentially. So obviously you have to figure out what your boiling temperature is and try to keep it above that or right at it. So that's one thing that's what been really was a key decision for sure. Not that you can't do it in other ways and have multiple pans, but this was well worth it, and the pan has been working out well for us. So that being said, you have to have a good fire underneath it. And on my second cook, I did not maintain a boil, and I was trying to cook at a slower pace, because the first cook I overcooked, which technically you can't. It doesn't seem like you can actually overcook, and I'm sure the experts will comment and correct me on everything, but it seems as if you could have a real hot fire underneath there, and you're going to just basically maintain your boiling point. So basically keep that fire stoked the entire time so that you maintain boiling, so that you're continuing to boil at peak efficiency. When I overcooked, what happened wasn't so much that I basically overcooked at the end. So what that means is, since I'm doing like small batch maple syrup cooking, that pan is capable of holding just about 20 gallons of sap. So at the end, I only have like a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch at the bottom of the pan at most. And what happened was I got busy doing other things within about a 2-minute time frame. The fire was very hot, and it just basically boiled down really quick, which then just gave me a higher content maple syrup. It tastes great. There's nothing wrong with it, but you know, if you were to look at it, it's a very dark maple syrup. So that was a key factor. So then what we did after that was on the second cook, it took a little bit longer because I didn't maintain that boil. And so essentially what we did was we brought that, it was late at night. We brought the remaining sap that hadn't been finished back to my home, because this is actually my mother's property. We call it 14 acres of freedom because that's what it is. I live just a little bit south here. But anyways, regardless, we brought it back. I bought a 2-burner camp cook stove, technically, a freestanding deal. And that's the best way to finish it, in my opinion. There's a lot of people that like to bring it into the house. But if you're doing these small pans, an outdoor cook stove, so that you don't wind up accidentally or overboiling your finished product and getting it all over your kitchen and getting everything sticky, you can adjust the temperature, and that works great. So that was a key deal, because then getting the thermometer was paramount, so that I could basically keep tabs on the temperature. So by keeping tabs on the temperature at all times, I could watch when my boiling point got up to the point at which you'd call it finished maple syrup. So at my altitude, that's right around 216 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was able to watch that the entire time. So that was key. And then as that crept up, as you're getting closer and closer to the finished maple syrup, you were able to turn down your temperature. So while I was trying to finish it, you know, I was at almost 3/4 to full burner on that propane cook stove, and I was able to turn it down to almost off. So basically low to finish it. So as it gets closer, to summarize, as it gets closer to finished maple syrup, it takes less heat to maintain the boil that's required for finished maple syrup, because essentially you have less water content, and it just doesn't take as much to boil. So it was important to be able to monitor that temperature at the end. So get it on the wood fire, do most of your evaporating there, so you don't have to buy a metric shit ton of propane. Put it on the propane burner, boil it down. Then the next key thing was having the filtering done right. The first time I filtered it on the second batch, I didn't use a synthetic thick filter like I did with the first batch, because it took a long time, and I just thought, well, why do you need this? Turns out it's key. And what you do is you get one of them thicker synthetic filters, put that in whatever container you're gonna pour into, and then take a couple cheaper filters, the real thin ones, and stack them in there. I put 3, you could probably do 4. And as the flow slows down, you remove the filter and kind of filter out what can be filtered at that point, and let it filter into the remaining 3, you know, including the synthetic one. And basically, as the next one fills up or slows, I shouldn't say fills up, slows down, then you can remove that one and do the same thing, so on and so forth, until you get down to the final larger synthetic filter, and at which point you should be filtering very clean maple syrup, and it changes the color, it helps any sediment get that out of there, and overall has a better product, a better looking product. Not that you couldn't, you know, just filter with the one and you'd be fine with the rest of it, because it's not like it's, you know, it'd be clean. I'll overlay some pictures showing the difference in the filtering that way. So, and also I've mentioned it probably multiple times now, this is a time suck. We literally, you know, it's right now it's 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, and we started this cook with a 55-gallon drum, which is right over back here somewhere. We started that at 9 o'clock last night. My wife and I both took shifts, basically just stoking the fire all night, and that's roughly 55 gallons, and we've got just under a quarter barrel left. So don't start this unless you are willing to commit the time to it. Overall, up to this point, after this is done, we should have roughly 2.25 gallons of maple syrup that we've made, and we might have one more cook to go. So those are some of the things that went well and didn't go well. Definitely put down in the comments if you have questions, or those of you that are doing this professionally or been doing it for years, don't be afraid to give everybody else that might watch this some tips and tricks. So this is likely going to be the end of the video, so don't worry, there's not going to be any more 10 minutes stints of me ranting. So hopefully I was able to condense this down to something watchable. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching 4 Joes by Joe. It's been really fun showing you what we're doing here, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. As always, I appreciate your support, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.